can organizations do to stay ahead of the regulatory environment? And they often, as they're catching up to this innovation cycle, how can organizations feel like they are one step ahead of the regulations that are coming down?
Yeah, so first I would say not everything's new. There's a whole body of existing laws that govern things like discrimination, pay, overtime, FMLA eligibility. Those laws all exist in the world of AI just as they did before AI. Mm-hmm. And you're having different organizations like the Department of Labor or the EEOC that are issuing guidance and best practices for how to interpret those existing laws in the AI world. There are, in addition, a lot of jurisdictions that are looking at artificial intelligence specific rules and regulations, right? So we have New York City, Colorado, the European Union, a number of other proposals. And I do, in talking to people, feel like they feel pressure to how can I possibly keep up with all that? One thing that I definitely recommend is if you look through all of these different regulations, they have themes, right? They have particular areas that the law is trying to protect people in. Protect people against bias in algorithms, protect people from not knowing when AI is being used. So we have notice and transparency obligations that are being baked into these new sets of regulations. So if you look at the notice, transparency, bias, the privacy protections, and you start thinking about building your own AI ethics standards, right? So your own set of rules, you can decide as a company whether there's a law or not. I am not going to use AI without informing the end user that AI is going to be used, right? And that could be your decision and your ethical statement. It's coming up in all of these legislations and regulations, and that'll kind of put you ahead. Now, there's definitely a couple of resources that are great to look at when you're developing your own kind of AI ethics statement. ADP worked with the Future of Privacy Forum to co-develop some best practices that are geared towards the responsible use of AI in the workforce. We also have the National Institute for Standards and Technology that has issued an AI risk management framework that is quickly becoming adopted as an expectation in a lot of jurisdictions for what AI programs should entail. So I would say that it might feel daunting to try to keep up with all of these changes. So I would look to existing laws and also these new AI-specific laws to pull out principles of how you're going to govern AI and how you're going to make sure that AI is used responsibly in your organization.
And what I'd add to that, I think, is really when you look at sort of AI regulation, the thing that strikes me that's sort of unique about that as opposed to other types of regulation is because AI can be used for so many different things. We've talked a lot about it in the employment context here, but there's self-driving cars, there are other technologies, and a lot of this regulation is relatively horizontal, is that it really takes a life cycle approach. It begins from the data that you use to develop the AI or the data that might be fed in for the AI to act upon, to how does the algorithm work? Is it accurate? Have you tested it for validity, bias, as Elena mentioned? And then you go and put it on the market. Do you do post-market monitoring? Do you see how it's acting? Do you make sure that it doesn't drift? Do you make sure that it doesn't hallucinate? And so as you build in compliance and think about these regulations, it's important to think about it as, I'm not just creating this sort of set of processes, or I'm going to go check these things. You have to think about it from a life cycle approach across the development and usage of the AI tool. But if you do that, then you're going to be in a good position to meet your regulatory obligations.